When you travel into unknown lands to discover new parts of the globe, it is to ensure the records of your discoveries are delivered back safe and sound, with or without you.
I'll need a volunteer to accompany me across the ice cap to retrieve the findings of the missing
ML Everest.
You asked interrogative question around my suit. It's gone. What are you doing? Come on. That is not paid for by them. That is paid for by the people of Detroit.
You might be qualified, ML.
I'm not qualified for this job. Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now? Hey kids, it's your old pal, ML Elric, back from Iceland. And I'm going to welcome a guest from Iceland before the show is over. But first, we have some special guests joining us today. We're about to start a new well, you're kind of
No one cares.
You're always here. You're like Christina Ricci chained to that radiator in that one movie that I never saw.
Black Snake Moan.
Was that it? Okay. That seemed kind of
What? I'm a little scared how quick that came off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Not a great movie.
Seemed like Christina Ricci could have done better. But anyways, like Christina Ricci, you're very charming and popular, and everybody loves to think of you somehow incarcerated. But we're already off the rails. It's like I never left.
Well, all right, go ahead. No,
I was on a roll, and then you kind of tripped me, man. But we are brought to you by Luke Nowacki and Pinnacle Wealth Strategies. As you know, if you need a plan, Luke, Zach, and Nick can help you get one. The Caju Cafe, always a great place for a great time. The pride of the East Side. We'll tell you what's going on there this week later in the show. Artisan Interiors. Do you have a little work you need done at your house? We all need a little work done. Artisan Interiors can help you. We'll tell you how to contact them later. And of course, Detroit City Football Club, Le Rouge. The men have been playing now. They're a couple weeks into their season. But this Saturday in Ann Arbor, the women who play in the USLW League, also known as the W League. I'm pushing for the dub. I'm not really getting a lot of love for that from Coach Dani Evans and Captain Hannah Crum, who join us today to talk about the new season. Last season, pretty good, 7-1-3. For those of you who don't follow soccer, that's 7 wins and then significantly fewer losses. I think there's that 1 loss and 3 draws.
Not that hard to figure out.
So, Marc's our soccer expert here, but
Hardly.
It was a pretty good season, and they're starting in Ann Arbor on Saturday against AFC Ann Arbor, and they'll be back in Hamtramck and Keyworth on the 23rd, so that's a week from Saturday. So come check them out. Guys, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So you guys ready for the season? Everybody's healthy? You're raring to go? What's it looking like?
So we're pretty excited about the season coming up. A lot of the girls are returning in this week. A couple trickled in last week. We pick up a lot of college and local, like high school, and then some older vets like Hannah here. And so everybody's been kind of trickling in. We had some pretty good training sessions last week. Pretty healthy. I think we only have 1 or 2 injuries at this point, but we're going into the season pretty healthy and with a pretty strong roster going into Saturday's game.
Hannah, you don't look that old to me. Can you elbow the coach? Does that mean you're going to start on the bench?
I know. Like, Dani, don't do that to me. But if anyone asks, I'm like 22 is what I like to say.
That's what I say too.
You know,
It's perfect age.
most people who are around 22, their ID says 38 based on what I've seen in East Lansing. So, so you must really be 22 or close to it.
That's East Lansing.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a full-time job.
Yeah, but still.
So yeah, we're really excited about the season. And like I said, it's pretty much a very similar roster to last year. We've added a few key players, which has been super exciting to see them come back to come in and kind of make an impact on the group. But we're going to see a lot of like the players that we like to cheer on, the Lily Jeekles, and then we've got Maya Solis and Acadia Murphy back in the back line. And then in the middle, we have Abby Smothers, Hannah Crum, and then we actually picked up a couple from the indoor team that we had this past winter that are going to come in and make a pretty big impact. Aaron Torrance and Megan Verant. So we're pretty excited about that as well.
How many players play on both the indoor and the outdoor teams?
So the indoor team, we hold about anywhere between 22 to 30. On a roster day, there's only 16, but we hold a larger roster so that when we go into trainings, we can actually play. We want to, play 6v6 throughout the training session. So we'll play for an hour, just so that they're getting used to getting in and out of the boards, the whole, also the endurance side of things. So we hold about 30 on that roster. And then the outdoor roster, we have 64 girls,
Whoa.
which seems like a lot. But we kind of look at the season in 3 different parts. We have the first part, which girls are trickling in from college and from, full-time jobs. We've got a lot of teachers on our staff, as players. So as their teaching career comes to an end for summer, they're coming in. And then we have the middle of it, which is June 10th through June 25th is the bulk of the season. And then the end of the season kind of hurts us too, because a lot of players leave to go to college again. So we kind of look at 3 different parts. So these 64, even though it seems like it's a lot, we actually have 2 teams that are competing this year. We have one in the USLW and then one that's just doing a bunch of friendlies. So we need the players. So we having that number is really, really helpful to make sure that the season flows the way we want it to.
Okay, so don't laugh at this if you think it's a dumb question, but Hannah, so playing in both indoor and outdoor, you're a striker, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the big difference for you besides endurance? Obviously, a lot less running. I mean, can you just sit there and cherry pick an indoor?
Well, I feel like indoor is I kind of more look at it. It's way faster pace. You don't get a break like outdoor, where outdoor is kind of to me, a game of chess, right? Where it's there's way more patience and a different kind of strategy on how you want to get to goal. You kind of more so pick and choose your moments. Whereas with the indoor game, it's more go, go, go. You have way more opportunities in front of net. So you're taking more shots. You're at full speed more than in the big game. You're subbing quicker. So it's a lot different. It's kind of like basketball, back and forth. Whereas soccer is way too big to be like basketball.
Probably like football versus arena football in a way. Do you have a preference?
Do I like one more than the other?
Yeah.
If I'm being, I just love the 11v11.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love both.
Traditionalist.
But nothing compares to the proper game of soccer.
So as the captain, 64 people. So I'm, and I don't want to make this about me, and
but you will,
and how special I am.
You always do.
But I'm the captain of the Free Press Co-ed Rec softball team, and
that's because you do the scheduling and put it together.
I have 17 souls whose fate is in my hand, and I find that to be a huge responsibility, and often makes me question a lot of things in the world about what's fair, life, death, things like that. That's with 16 nitwits. You've got 64 very serious soccer players to lead. How the hell do you do that, and what tips do you have for those of us with the Free Press fake softball team?
Yeah, I don't, I'm still kind of figuring stuff out. I mean, it's fresh for me too, but, I definitely thought in my head, I've got to step some things up and be this. But then I came to terms that no, I don't need to change much about who I am. Dani picked me because of how I was, not how she expects me to be in some way. And, just being there for my teammates and just being someone to talk to, or if I see someone down, just, try and get them out of their heads, especially some of the younger ones. You can see, I kind of relate to how I used to see things, how they did. And now I feel like I can take a step back and be like, might be what they're going through. Let's help them through that. So
it sounds like what you just said is I'm doing a great job.
Yes.
Okay,
exactly.
good.
Scheduling those games.
I can see why you picked her, Dani. Coach said that you have a full-time job, and I know a lot of players make this is probably the most important thing you do, but it doesn't pay all your bills. What do you do the rest of the time when you're not playing or practicing or training? And how do you juggle the two responsibilities, the 9 to 5, and then not just playing soccer, but being a leader?
Yeah. So I actually have 2 other jobs. So my full-time job is I'm a bookkeeper. So basically I just provide the financial reports for small businesses. And that one, I'm thankful it's remote. So it helps with flexibility and being able to make it to everything soccer wise and kind of jump about in when I put my work, in front of me. And then I also coach girls soccer, high school soccer, which is going on right now. Shout out to Oxford girls soccer team. So yeah, I don't know. I just take everything each day. Yeah.
Have a good calendar.
I actually don't have a calendar and I know I should.
Uh-oh. Well, tax day's April 15th. You might want to put that one on there.
Oh, I know that day was chaos. Let me tell you.
And Coach, what's it like when you have players from all these different backgrounds, some who are still students, some who are full-time professionals, some who are returning vets, some who, you never know before and you're not sure what you're getting?
So that's why Hannah's so key to this whole, the whole team, because you need somebody that's going to be able to bridge the gap between all of those different areas. So we have a lot of high schoolers, and Hannah will go up to them and make them laugh about something silly, and then she'll walk over and they'll keep following her, and then she'll talk to some of the indoor girls. So just having that big, having that person that can kind of connect the different groups when we're standing outside of the field. And then also David taught us this. We've only done it a few times, but basically at the beginning of every practice, we get into kind of like a semicircle, and we ask a question for the girls. So we'll be like, what's your favorite ice cream? Or last one I did was, what high school did you go to and what year did you graduate? Which was really fun. Yeah. And so just getting to them to know other people. So then that way, when they walk away, you're like, okay, you liked mint chocolate chip. So did I, or you like Superman. So that kind of helps with getting to know some of the players. And then also once we're on the pitch, we do a lot of things where we'll say get into a group of 4, and then we'll combine 2 groups so that they're playing with different people instead of just their group of friends.
So do these players end up getting nicknames? Is there one player named Fudge Ripple or a Rocky Road out there from the ice cream question? Or
there's Sissy.
Yeah.
Ella Carolak's sister. We call her Sissy. Who else? Curtin. Yeah. Kirsten's Curtin. It just happens in the moment. Yeah. No one's been named mint chocolate chip yet, but I'm going to keep it. Next question should be ice cream. Okay. We haven't done it in at least a year.
Yeah. We'll do that one.
Well, those are better than hockey nicknames. You'd be Crummy and you'd be Evsy. Oh, yeah. They're the least imaginative nicknames in all of sports.
Crummy Crummy's not new to me. I've been called that all college. Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Oh no.
I love it too. I love it.
Maybe Calendar. Captain Calendar. That might be that one may be a keeper.
You need to get a calendar.
I need a calendar.
Slightly better than Crummy. Well, for those of you who have a calendar, DCFC is going to be playing in Ann Arbor against AFC Ann Arbor on Saturday, May 16th at 7 p.m. And, of course, the home opener will be the following Saturday. That's May 23rd, 7 p.m. at Keyworth versus Kalamazoo FC. You can get tickets at debtcityfc.com. The promo code SOUL, S-O-U-L, will get you a 15% discount on those. There'll be a pre-match clinic at Keyworth for girls aged 8 to 16. Camp fee includes 2 tickets to the game to the home opener. And kind of buried the lead here, which is bad in journalism. It's dollar beer night at Keyworth. So if you get there early, you can get a beer for $1. But, mind your manners, because if you don't, you'll find out how crummy the captain can get when she gets in those stands and starts, she gets mint chocolate chip out there and Sissy, and she starts bringing order to chaos.
I love it.
Well, Coach Evans, Captain Crum, thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you at Keyworth, and go get those Ann Arbor. What's the Ann Arbor team's nickname, by the way?
I think they're Arbor.
I have no idea.
I think they're
no, they're the oak tree or
tree.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's almost bad enough to be a hockey nickname.
Right down.
So go to Ann Arbor on Saturday. Watch LaRouge chop down the oak. Put them in the wood chipper.
Yes, I like that one.
Strip their bark,
Say that before the game.
make their boughs break, and then
Yes.
Stop while you're ahead.
yeah, I was behind.
You had a good one.
I was
Stop.
behind from the beginning.
Go out
And
on a
then,
high note.
Then we got Keyworth, May 23rd, Dollar Beer Night. Check out the home opener. Guys, have a great season, and we hope to see you again before it's all over.
Thank you guys so
Thanks
much for having us.
Kathy Ireland has never spoken to Luke Nowacki. Actually, now that I think about it, every celebrity that has gone broke has never spoken to Luke Nowacki. Maybe you shouldn't take that chance. Call or text Luke Nowacki at 248-663-4748. That's 248-663-4748. Who knows? Maybe you can find a way to get your own Champions Club tickets so that you're not trying to weasel them from Drew like some people we know. This much we also know. When you call Luke, he'll make it all about you, sweetheart.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. member FINRA SIPC.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc.
Are you looking to update your home? Do you have a kitchen that, like mine, has a big hole in the ceiling? Do you have space that you don't use but would like to? Well, Artisan Interiors can help. Whether it's your kitchen, finishing your basement, custom cabinetry, new fireplace surround, or anything else in your home, Artisan Interiors would love to help you out. Give them a call at 586-770-3169. That's 586-770-3169 to discuss, and they will start the process to make your vision for your home become your home's reality. Artisan Interiors. Check them out. And we are joined live from Reykjavik, live to tape from Reykjavik, by Lexi Serwin. Lexi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Big game yesterday for Throther Reykjavik. I think that's
yes.
I think that's what you call the home team. How'd it go?
Unfortunately, we did take a loss yesterday. 2-1, so it was a close game. Definitely controlled, I'd say, most of it, but unfortunately lost. I did get a goal, my first goal there.
Hey, all right, yeah.
So that was a positive to take away from it. So
excellent, and not an own goal.
Not an own goal for my team. Yes.
Okay, good. That's my specialty. So as you know, I was in Iceland last week with adventure traveler Sergey M. Morris, and one of the people we met was Lexi and her family, and Sergey said, "Hey, I want to meet up with a friend of mine who plays professional soccer in Iceland." I said, "Oh, that's great. I always like to meet local folks, and we get together for dinner." Like, yeah, they're from Rochester. I'm like, what the hell? What is somebody from Rochester doing playing professional women's soccer in Iceland, a place where it doesn't seem like there's much grass, let alone outdoor soccer or anything? And Lexi is charming, great family. And I just thought people would like to know a little bit more about how you ended up on the other side of the world playing soccer and making a living doing it in a country that has a population of like 400,000 people. I mean, how the hell many teams are there? How does this league work? I mean, I have so many questions.
Yes. So kind of give you like an overview of Iceland soccer. There's actually a ton of teams. I think people will be surprised with how small the population is, but soccer is such a big thing. And obviously in Europe, it's such a huge thing. Same thing for Iceland. There's about 3 to 4, I'd say the fourth division is more of a semi-professional, but there's about 3 professional divisions. I happen to be in the Premier Division, which is the top one, which is super cool. And there's about 10 to 12 teams in each league. So if that kind of gives you a view of it, obviously both men's and women's. So yeah. And then basically I've been playing soccer my whole life. It was always my dream to play professionally, and there's tons of opportunities, especially a lot more in Europe than in America currently, I'd say. So post-college, I was able to get an agent. I had a good college career, and so I was able to get an agent who kind of helped get me this opportunity over here. And I've also always wanted to travel, so it kind of was best of both worlds.
And
to get to experience both.
Did your agent say, like, look, these are the different regions we can look at? Or was it like, hey, Iceland, they're going to pay you the most? And what did you know about Iceland before you went?
Yeah, so I have a really awesome agent. He has a lot of contacts all over. So the opportunities were kind of endless in terms of I could really go in a lot of different directions. But kind of what teams needed certain players who were interested in me, specifically what I could bring. And then obviously logistically, pay wise, what would serve me best. Obviously it's not too far either, so it's not super far distance for people to come visit, and time difference and things. So like what aligned most. And then I was able to kind of meet this opportunity, and it worked out very well. So,
but it's a whole different culture. I mean, so what did you
different.
know anything about it, or were you like, oh God, I got to cram?
I knew absolutely nothing about Iceland. It's not a place that I ever had really on my to visit list, which is crazy now living here. I'm like in love with it, but I knew nothing about Iceland before. And I actually had one mutual friend who played over there. So she kind of helped me learn a little bit before I went, at least to kind of know what I should be expecting, I guess. But that was basically all the information I had going into it. So
I first wanted to go to Iceland back in the mid 90s. They used to have this package where you'd go and you could get pulled out on a sleigh by reindeer, and they'd serve you schnapps, and you'd jump into a hot springs, and it always sounded like so exotic. And I couldn't afford it. It was like when tourism was just starting to kick off in Iceland. But now, there's not much snow around there. But one of the things that I was so impressed by in Reykjavik, which is the capital and by far the biggest city, is walking down that main drag. It felt to me we were there on a Thursday night. It felt like a Saturday or a Friday night on Mackinac Island, where it's just a long stretch filled with bars and restaurants and shops, and everybody's out, and there's live music and people are talking. And I was like, what the hell is, and this main drag stretches for like a mile. I'm like, Reykjavik really kicks ass. I couldn't believe it. As a young dude, I'd be like, Iceland? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, 100%. I did not know what I was expecting, but being here, I think a lot of people would be just so surprised at how much of the culture is somewhat similar to America in terms of downtown Reykjavik, like just bars and restaurants and live music, and it has a young feel to it. And so I've really enjoyed. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. That's okay.
Camera's bugging. I've really enjoyed living here, and I've had so much fun being able to explore the downtown area. And it's just a lot different than I think people would expect. A lot more lively. I think people would expect, Reykjavik, is the capital, but in general, just for it to be like mountains and not much going on. But downtown, it just has such a cool vibe to it, for sure.
Yeah, it was an eye opener for me. And of course, I was only there for a few days, and we got out in the country, which was beautiful and stark and really, really interesting. But for you living there full time, we just spoke to some folks from the DCFC women's team, and a lot of those players have full-time jobs or they're students, so their days are kind of full with all sorts of responsibilities. I'm not sure if I was living in Reykjavik full-time, I'd be able to keep myself busy. How is it that you kind of keep from going stir crazy there? I mean, does a team, because you don't have a job, you're a full-time professional soccer player.
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment. And I think people would think it's a lot more enjoyable to like have all this free time, but it's actually harder than you think. And I find myself having to just make the most of it. I obviously, since I am a professional athlete and have to dedicate my time to soccer, I also have to dedicate my time to fitness and stuff so I can put that into the gym. And so that also takes up some of my time, is working out, staying fit, recovering, doing what I can to protect my body. So that's almost like an additive to the full-time job. And then I've just been exploring the city as much as I can when I have the free time. I have some other friends here who play on different teams, so I get to see them as well. And just, doing what we can to like see the city to its extent, going on walks, visiting like the local bakeries and small businesses and stuff like that. So just kind of trying to immerse myself in the Iceland culture and get to see what I can. Since I have so much free time, it's also the luxury of it, I guess.
So what is the goal then? I mean, will you transfer to another league? I mean, is it the Premier League, the Women's Premier League? What is the pinnacle for women's soccer?
Yeah, so for me personally, I would love to play another season in Europe. Obviously, Premier League would be so
That's the
awesome.
top, yeah.
I am very realistic about where I'm at as a player and kind of what I see in terms of opportunities in the future. So, that is like a very high level in terms of women's soccer in the world. But also, I would love to come back to the United States. And thankfully, we are expanding in terms of women's soccer and how many professional teams we have. So not only is there the NWSL, which would be like the top level in the US, but they've also expanded to add the USL on the women's side and continue to expand those teams. And I think I could definitely see myself there, hopefully in the next year, after this season or the year after that. So I would love to come home and play in my home country as I kind of like continue on in my career. So that would hopefully be the goal for me.
Could you support yourself and have like a 10-year career playing professional soccer in Iceland?
You definitely could. I will say this country is very lucrative in that way. Like, they're very good about salaries and stuff, and I'd say it's not fortunate in every country for women's soccer. Iceland definitely does pay well and provide, and I do get a lot of things taken care of in terms of not just salary, but living and certain expenses. So I definitely think I could find a way to support myself for 10 years. I know girls from America that have been here for at least 5 to 6 and are continuing to play. So it's definitely something I could do if I saw myself wanting to build like a real future here. But.
Okay. And one thing I will say from my very brief stay there, Iceland is perhaps the most expensive European capital I've ever been to. It's unbelievable how expensive it is. So if you're able to support yourself, they must be treating women professional athletes a lot better than they're treated over here.
Yes, I will say it's been soccer, I guess I'd say, is just more important, more recognized in certain countries compared to what I've seen in like the US, for example. And I think they take that into account and they really care for us over here, which is awesome. And it is super expensive. So they kind of account for that as well. Like, they understand how expensive it is to live and support yourself here. So I think they kind of account for that in terms of salary and taking care of things, which is good.
Sure.
So.
And surprisingly, not much hockey, not much ice hockey in Iceland, but tons of soccer and almost all indoors.
Yes, they have tons of indoor facilities, but you'd actually be surprised that certain teams, including my own team and a lot of teams we play, don't. And they're able to handle all types of weather conditions and just play through it because that's what they've known their whole lives. But more of an adjustment for me, where I felt like back home we'd always have indoor facilities readily available, and the second it starts snowing, we're inside. But here, you're kind of expected to deal with it. They do have heated turf,
Okay.
which has been helpful. So as soon as snow kind of hits, they can try to get it to melt before it builds up. But
Yeah, well-
sometimes I've played in flurries here, which is kind of crazy.
With all that geothermal, they can heat everything pretty cheaply. How many
Yeah.
how many fans come out to the games, and is there like a big sports media following? I mean, do you have to worry about paparazzi?
No paparazzi
Okay.
over here, but they definitely have a really good following. Our home games, not sure in the exact number, but we bring in a pretty good crowd, and I'd say other teams as well that we play at their home stadiums have pretty good crowds. And then especially on the men's side here, they bring in full houses all the time. So it is cool to see. Like, we do get the stadiums packed and definitely have big followings in terms of socials and stuff like that. So it's been pretty cool.
So
Yeah.
we're talking thousands of fans filling a barn for a game.
Yeah, as much as I don't know if we've gotten thousands this year yet, but when it gets into playoff seasons and stuff, we can definitely hit those numbers. So
Okay. And when you got 400,000 people, getting 1,000 people in one place is a pretty
for
big
sure.
deal.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, I remember the fans. I want to say Iceland did really well in the Euros or the World Cup, maybe 10 years ago. Those fans were insane. They were some of the craziest European soccer fans I've ever seen. So I would expect it to translate to all levels and versions of soccer.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Lexi, what's the next game for Throt or Reykjavik?
So we actually have something super cool this Saturday. Iceland, the professional teams are a part of this thing called the Milk Cup. So it's kind of like an added tournament that kind of intertwines with our regular season games. And it's actually all professional teams in Iceland are a part of this tournament. So first, second, third division. And we're down to the round of 16. So we have that game on Saturday. And then the following week on Wednesday, we have another game for our regular season. So
Okay, well, catch Lexi Serwin in the Milk Cup, playing at the front as striker for Throther Reykjavik. Get your jersey orders in now. They are going fast. And
yes.
Thanks for joining us. And I plan to be back in Iceland. Hopefully that time we'll catch a game.
Yes, for sure. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Lexi.
Oh man, the geeks have inherited the earth.
Did I do that?
What a dork.
Does him wanting to play with us again mean that he's turning into a geek, or we're turning into cool guys?
I'd love to tell you more about my trip to Iceland, but I know Sean loves to talk about my trips, and he's on the road himself, covering the Pistons who tripped against the Cavaliers last night.
Yeah.
So I'll save the travel log until he gets back, and Erica should be back with us again soon. But I do want to stay in Iceland just for one moment for the Geek of the Week, and it really isn't Icelandic. It's more of a European thing, but every restaurant and chef, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, who thinks that you make a very bland salad better by putting canned corn niblets on it,
Wait,
you
what?
are my Geek of the Week.
What do you mean?
You go all over the world and they have all kinds of fancy things to eat that we don't have here, but sometimes you go and you say, I'll take a salad, and you get lettuce, maybe an onion, perhaps a tomato, and then someone opens a can of Green Giant and dumps some corn niblets on there, and
That's
they
what they
charge
do?
you a shitload for that. Yeah, not cool.
Well, they don't grow corn there. It's probably an exotic treat.
They don't grow Kalamazoo olives there either. How about an olive? Give me a caper.
I mean, when you look at English food, it's all beans and sausage.
I'm talking to the English too, and, and
take note, England.
yeah, I'm coming for you. As Scotland prepares to secede, you're shrinking, but you should be shrinking.
Oh
in
yeah,
fear.
because their cuisine's so much better.
Yeah, forget haggis. But then you see people put corn on pizza, and not like fancy corn, like somebody dumps some out of a can.
So I'm fat and I have a very large palate. Like, I'll eat anything. The one food I cannot stand is corn in almost any shape or fashion. I hate it. I hate it. I don't like corn on the cob. I don't like just the current. I don't really care for popcorn. I don't know why.
Corn nuts?
Yeah, but that's a little different.
Yeah, I know. It's mostly oil and salt.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
yeah.
So that's why I'm in on that.
Yeah.
I also don't like potatoes. So yeah.
Ireland, take note. So yeah, gourmands out there, gourmets, whatever the hell you are, chefs out there, knock it off with the canned corn. But you're not going to win any James Beard Awards. You're not going to get a Michelin star.
But
you do get our Geek of the Week award.
Me again!
There's an all-night party in room 7609. And you can dance together all night if you've got the time.
Physically, I'm here, but spiritually, I'm still in Iceland, which I must tell you, I was surprised at how much I really loved Iceland. It's a beautiful place. When you get out of the city, there are kind of like, I hesitate to call them mountains because they're big, but they're not really. There's waterfalls, there's craters, there's geysers, and it's a beautiful place. But when you get out of the big town, you get on Highway 1, and that's it.
Is that what loops around?
Yeah,
it?
there's just Highway 1. That's it. There's no 3. There's no 2.
Why even add a number? Just call it the highway.
Exactly. It's like
I've always wanted to go there. It's always been on one of my lists, mainly because I watch a lot of TV and movies, and so many things are filmed there. Like
oh, really?
Well, Game of Thrones.
Oh,
a lot of their ice scenes are filmed there. There's a couple Star Wars that were filmed there. The Ice Planets.
Okay.
I think Interstellar was filmed there, which is a great movie.
Yeah,
Christopher Nolan. So, when people need a landscape of cold and ice, but a good infrastructure to do things, and they film in Iceland.
Well, it was very mild in May, and I didn't wear my long johns. I could move around without a jacket if I needed to. So we didn't see a ton of snow, but the terrain is stark, and it's beautiful. And there are little towns where the architecture is kind of boxy and a lot of corrugated stuff, and it does look a lot like if we settled on the moon or Mars.
There you go.
This is what it would look like, which may be why the Icelandic bands you've heard of, which seems like a bit of a silly phrase to say because how many people can name an Icelandic band?
Just one.
Yeah,
or
the
two.
Sugar Cubes.
Yeah.
But Sigur Rós, we're going to play some of their, and I may have mispronounced it. I apologize to all you Sigur Rós fans. I'm going to make another musical apology later before we depart for the day. Their music is very ethereal, very strange, very drawn out. And so we thought, no, we won't do that. But we do want to give you some Icelandic flavor here. And so Sugar Cubes, okay, yeah. So we went with Björk, who's from Reykjavik, who's had a long and varied career as a part of a duet and then as a solo artist.
Did you hear a lot of Björk in Iceland?
No, I got to tell you, we listen to some Icelandic radio.
How stereotypical of you.
It's tough to understand the DJ. Difficult language. But this is a song you may recognize and one that's, as a bonus...
The one that you're talking over?
All in English.
I won't sympathize. Once
So that is Bjork, Army of Me, that if you're one of our soulmates and you're watching the video, which you get to watch the whole show for as little as $5 a month, I think you're left with the inescapable conclusion that Bjork has a problem with dentists.
That's a cool video, though, but it was done by Michel Gondry, who's a pretty famous movie director. Now, okay, did you like the song?
I did like the song, and I do like her videos. We have played another Bjork tune, which I'm trying to blank on now, on the show some time ago, and I love that
Human
video
Nature.
too. Human Nature, right?
Yeah.
That's the one where she's being chased by
either that
the
or-
teddy bear.
Yeah.
Which tells me she
So
has
Quiet
some
is
other
another good
issues.
video of hers, yeah.
And was nominated for an Academy Award for one of her songs. It says sold tens of millions of albums. You're like, Bjork? It's like, yeah, Bjork.
What'd you like about the song, though? Because, I mean, I could see why people wouldn't like her voice. But the drum beat, right?
Yeah.
That drum beat in the bass line, that drum beat is sampled.
Oh.
Can you figure out what it was sampled from? Because once I read it, it's like, oh, now I can't stop hearing
No, I have no idea.
When the Levee Breaks by Zeppelin.
Oh,
which is
okay.
also sampled by one of the Beastie Boys' first songs, Rhymin'
Okay.
and Stealin'.
She has kind of a hypnotic voice. It's almost trance-like.
That seems to be the Icelandic way.
Yeah, well, it is a place for reflection. I can imagine it would be a tough place to grow up if you had ambitions to make a big splash as a musician or as an artist. I imagine folks have got to leave, but yeah, it's an interesting place, interesting music. I do think some of the desolation is reflected in what you hear from the artists, but definitely worth checking out. I did listen to some Icelandic radio. I will admit that I switched over to Sirius for a while. But,
Wait, wouldn't Icelandic radio mainly be hits from the UK and the US, or no?
no, there were some songs we didn't understand the lyrics, so I presume those were, it may be like a lot of countries will require you to have a certain percentage of native music or domestic
like
music.
Canada does.
Yeah, with television shows. And, Lexi was telling us when we met there last week that there is a cap on how many foreign players can be on the different sports teams. Yeah. So, but there are quite a few people from all over the world playing there. And, I mean, if you told me, listen, you're not going to retire as a professional athlete. Actually, I've been told that a lot. I was told you're not even going to get a start, so that was hurtful. But if you told me you're going to take 5 years out of your life, or even just a couple years out of your life, to be a professional athlete in another country,
oh my God, yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't do that? I mean, and I know the folks, you got to get going on your Christmas. Man, I'll tell you, that would be so cool. And I know there are situations where it turns out to be, a nightmare. It's like, well, I'm in the middle of this nowheresville place, and my check's not clearing, and all this other stuff. But I would think anybody else you're interviewing against for a job, and they're like, well, I got out of college and I started working here. It's like, I got out of college. I played soccer in Iceland for a couple. I'd be, go back to that. What was that?
Yeah.
Your resume's good. I like your references. Everything looks good. I think we'd like to hire, but I mean, that seems like the kind of thing that really would make you stand out.
Well, I think people like to hire people that were on teams.
There's that, and also
athletic teams, especially professionally.
And people who have, I think, a little bit of
network
fortitude, to go to a foreign country. Everybody speaks English in Iceland, so it's not like, not speaking the language is a huge
Everyone
impediment.
speaks English everywhere.
But I will tell you, trying to learn Icelandic would be tough. I think Lexi said she's learned 5 words since she's been there, but it's not an easy language. But and they use one character in their alphabet that no other Nordic language uses. And I read that the Icelandic language is as close to the original Norse of any spoken Scandinavian language. So
that's a fascinating tidbit of information.
Yes, I think I will.
What a nerd!
I will get to my Icelandic lessons right after I complete my studies in Latin. But anyway, if you want to hear a little more conventional music, the Kaju Cafe's got all kinds of great things. So maybe you want to sing. Maybe you have that kind of 3-octave voice like Bjork that you want to show off. Good news, it's karaoke night tomorrow, Wednesday, at the Kaju Cafe. Thursday, it's the Jazz Jam with the Bill Meyer Group. It's Detroit's longest-running jam session. Friday, the music of Frank Zappa with the Chris Kurosawa Group. Saturday, Redland and Antlers. This sounds like an Icelandic band. Stago Lee and the Non-Professionals. Sunday, the Motor City Josh Big Band and Bill Hyde Trio. Monday, Tasha Owens and Stable Dudes Open Jam. And of course, if it's Monday, it's Muscle Madness at the Caju Cafe. All you can eat, mussels prepared in ways you've never imagined. Check it out. To find out more about what's going on, go to cajucafe.com, or you can find a link to their website on our website, which is mlsoulofdetroit.com. And if you'd like to send us a suggestion for room 769, you don't have to go to Iceland. You don't have to
You don't have to go anywhere.
You don't have to be kind of a big shot international traveler or who knows professional athletes all over the globe like my friend Sergey. You can just send us an email at mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com. Send us your song, send us your story, and we will play it on an upcoming episode.
Nice.
Mark, don't even cue up the music.
What?
This is where we thank our new soulmates. No new soulmates. We got nothing.
Still like the song.
I will say, for those soulmates who wonder, what do we do with the very generous donations you sent us? A couple weeks ago, Miguel sent me a small amount to buy a pint when I was in Ireland. Mission accomplished.
Just one? You only got one?
Well, Miguel's funds were limited, as they should be, and my thirst for foreign alcohol was not. So I did burn through that as well as dip into my own savings, but I regret nothing. Nothing.
Sounds like a great trip.
So thanks.
Totally
Miguel.
jealous.
Yeah, it was great, and we did a stopover. We did, well, you heard us from Ireland. If you didn't check out last week's episode, we did like an 18-hour stopover in Copenhagen. And got there in the afternoon, did a little walk around.
Hey, is it Copenhagen or Hagen?
Well, it depends. Copenhagen.
Is that how they pronounce it? Is there a difference?
I have to check how many
What a
dots are
stupid
over
question.
the vowels.
I withdraw my question. Carry on.
Yeah, no, that's like How I Met Your Mother, where Ted's always like, it's actually pronounced encyclopedia. I believe it probably was Copenhagen. But we stayed at a hostel. We stayed in this cool thing. People may know I'm a budget traveler most of the time.
I gotta say, hostel does not sound cool.
Well, you will not dig this one then.
No.
We actually stayed in what they call capsules. They're drawers in essentially a giant dresser, much like Kramer put those Japanese guys in Seinfeld.
Wait, okay. Like, but what about, I mean, is it just a bed in there? Where do you change?
So they're stacked. There's one above, there's one below. There's a little ladder, the one upstairs. You slide the door back. You tuck yourself in. It's got a little shelf. It's very cozy.
Where do you change?
And then it locks. It's like, I don't know, maybe there's like a dozen capsules to a room, and then there's a shower and
where do you put all your
shitter down
Where do you
the
put
hall.
all your stuff?
You put it in the capsule and you lock it.
Oh God!
You have
sleep with all your luggage.
You have a key code.
That wasn't claustrophobic.
No, it's great. It was
Is there a TV in there?
Everybody's got their phone. Nobody needs a TV.
Oh, that's a good point.
In fact, I think we may have talked about this last week. We were at the pub in Ennis, where like a 1-year-old was sitting in his carriage watching the iPhone. I was like, Jesus. Or as they would say, Jesus.
So it's like being in a rail car, a sleeper rail car.
Very much like that, except you can...
But less room.
You can see... No, more room. I've slept on night trains.
Yeah, but I mean, you can jump down. Most of those sleeper cars will have some of them have a sink in them.
Yeah.
Some do.
No, we did not have that.
How much did it cost?
That was less than $50 a night for sure.
Oh, that's not bad.
We're just
like having a locker, a human locker.
Yeah, exactly. We're just conking out before it's time to catch the flight. So one thing we did do when we walked around, there's a large synagogue in Copenhagen, and we went to go take a look at the plaque in front of it that said, what it was all about. And, what's it kind of like the historic significance is. We know what a synagogue's all about. And there were two armed soldiers who looked very serious, who walked to say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, we're just taking..." And they've got the army looking over the synagogue because they've had some attacks. So that's...
Oh, it sucks.
Very, very sad. But we do have some feedback from folks.
All right.
Which you can send us at mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com. And I am very, very embarrassed to read this letter from Andrew.
I have a feeling you're not.
No, I really am, because it's something that I know and I got wrong not once but twice. Andrew says, Johnny Marr plays a Fender Jaguar.
You should be embarrassed.
Not a Mustang. ML has mentioned the Mustang on at least 2 episodes.
What an idiot you are.
It's a Jaguar
Dummy.
that he plays. He even has a Fender. Now Andrew's he's just rubbing it in.
Good.
He even has a Fender signature model.
How do you not know everything about everything all the time? I mean, come on. A Jaguar versus, what did you confuse it with?
Mustang.
I mean, two sports car. I don't want to defend you. What an idiot you are.
But he is very well known for being a huge fan of the Fender Jaguar. And if I recall, and here I'm gonna get myself in more trouble, Mark.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
What? Do it now. You have to. What?
I was gonna say that I think that the Mustang looks like a smaller Stratocaster, but no, that's the Telecaster. So
somebody correct him, please.
Save your notes, Andrew. Andrew says, not a huge deal, but I'm sure
no, it's
ML
a huge deal.
Wouldn't want to keep giving people bad information.
Yeah, that was awful.
He's absolutely right. Thanks, Andy. And thank you.
On the behalf of the show, I'm apologizing for you as well.
I appreciate that.
Do better.
We have one more piece of feedback, but I want to share a letter that I received, and I'm going to hold it up for our soulmates to see.
Handwritten.
Teresa texted me, very concerned. Somebody sent a letter to my house on City of Detroit police stationery that said, Dear Mr. ML Elric, we have not always seen eye to eye. You know what I mean. I think it's time we put the past behind us. So I propose we meet briefly to talk things over, okay? I have an idea for you that you might find interesting. You're the only person I will talk to about this. Let's meet on this coming Thursday at 11:15 a.m. at a spot I think you know. Next Chapter Books on East Warren. See you, KMK. And this is a piece of Detroit Police stationery.
What?
Which has on the bottom of it, Kwame M. Kilpatrick, Mayor. So somebody is sending me, let's get together at the neighborhood bookstore on vintage stationery. So
as if.
The handwriting.
I mean, I think you would recognize his handwriting too.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That signature though.
It doesn't look that different, but I haven't looked at his handwriting in a while. But it was hand-delivered to my house.
He would never do that.
To Mr. ML Elric. So I think it's a hoax. I was out of town last Thursday, so I'll never know. I will check with my friends at Next Chapter Books. By the way, Next Chapter Books does sell the Kwame Sutra, so maybe it was all part of a long con to get somebody to go there and buy a book.
What a weird con, though.
It's a very weird letter. I should also say, speaking of Next Chapter Books on East Warden, which people may know is where I launched my city council campaign because it's where I used to work when it was a Sherwin-Williams store. Early on in this show's life, so over 5 years ago, one of our first episodes, I mentioned that the best boss I ever had was Glenn Oshnock, who was the manager at the Sherwin-Williams. And while I was in Iceland, I finally got a chance to talk to Glenn. I meant to call him. Somebody sent me his number years ago. I misplaced it. But we caught up while I was in Iceland. I've been so friggin' busy here. The one chance I got to talk to somebody who I really, really care about and who I really, really miss was when I was in Iceland. But we had a great conversation, and it was great to talk to Glenn. And for those of you who know Glenn, who helped put us together, thank you very much. Still the best boss I've ever had. Just did the right thing, treated people right, worked hard, just a good guy. Could get a little crazy drinking that coffee by the end of the day, but great guy, and I'm looking forward to catching up with him in person soon. Last bit of feedback comes from Alexandria. Hi, Elric. Can you admit voting is pointless and we don't actually live in a big D democracy?
Yeah, I'm with her.
And she put the big D on there. She didn't say big D democracy.
Voting is pointless.
Voting is just an illusion of control.
Amen.
Nobody I know wants a war with Iran. It happens anyways. And the AIPAC-controlled left, wink, wink, go along with it, just like the AIPAC-controlled right. Liberals like Jake Tapper and Bill Maher both have hard-ons for this war. Maher certainly does, although I think he must have got some saltpeter because that boner's is looking more like a turtle head over the last couple of weeks. Have you watched Real Time where he's like,
I have not watched recently.
Yeah, he's like, I was really glad we went in, kind of done with it. Didn't go the way we thought. I thought it was a good idea. Let's get the hell out of there. So he is, and I don't know what Jake Tapper does or says, but Mar has changed his mind. Alexandria continues, nobody I know wants to support Israel slaughtering Palestinians, Lebanese, etc. Our billions, service members, and weapons always help Israel do it anyways. Nobody wants data centers. They are built anyways.
Yeah.
Nobody
we need them, but
wants corporate welfare to billionaires. Dan Gilbert gets whatever public money he wants from Dems and Repubs. Another $150 million last week. I don't know what happened there, but I have to catch up on news. Nobody wants open borders. There are over 100 million illegal immigrants in the U.S. right now, according to retired Border Patrol Commander Greg Bavino. I don't think that's right. There's only 350 million people in the country. How could there be 100 million illegal immigrants? Bavino, by the way, got shown the door. Even the hardcore MAGA folks had it with that dude. We'll let people work out. I'm just saying that I don't think $100 million is an accurate figure. Neither party actually deports significant figures. Trump's deportation numbers are lower than Obama's. Anyone with eyes can see that Metro Detroit Costco's suddenly look like New Delhi. I don't know about that.
Wow.
Now, actually, if you ever go to BJ's warehouse, they do have a deli.
I mean, the one I go to,
deli.
there are a lot of Eastern Europeans the Costco I go to, which, okay, a lot of Asians too, which, okay, I like Asian food and I like weird food. So I like, not weird, different food.
And if you go to the Costco Business Center, you will see a lot of people who are foreign and ethnic because they tend to run stores and restaurants in the same way that my wife's great uncle would have gone there to buy all kinds of food for his restaurant, and they were Greek. This happens, folks. Yeah. If you'd gone there in the 1920s, the mix would have been in there buying Guinness. Oh, dear, I've offended my heritage.
Take any issue you want. I don't think voting matters that much. Sorry.
Well, Alexandria is still going, nobody wants surveillance state crap like flock cameras. It's all approved anyways. I could go on and on. Kind of felt like you did. From the local school board to Lansing to D.C., elected officials do not give a shit about us. Playing by the rules and trusting this fake and corrupt system is the biggest farce.
Yeah.
I feel like a sucker. And I'm sure you will just mock me because your job is to keep up this illusion.
Ooh, you're part of it.
Yours,
media's part of it.
Alex. Well, I'm going to both disappoint Alex and play to type and say, I think you should still vote. But I will just push back a little bit and say, actually, my job is not to keep up this illusion. My job is to puncture the illusion. And like Charlie LaDuff and like a lot of great reporters I've worked with, we spend extra time and give extra care to letting you know when public servants are not serving your best interests and when they put self-service before public service. So whether they're there as part of some long con or not, my job and the job of a lot of reporters I know and respect is to try and help you look behind the curtain, to show you how the woman was sawed in half. So we are not there to perpetuate the illusion. We are there to shatter it. But Alexandria, thank you for challenging us. Thank you for holding our feet to the fire. And thank you for sharing some thoughts that Marc, for sure, is giving you some hosannas on. And I'm sure there are a lot of other people out there saying, yeah, the game's rigged.
I just think all politicians are the same.
But you can't surrender. You have to do your best and sometimes pick the lesser of two evils. And that's it for our feedback this week. Marc, what I missed while I was gone?
Nothing.
Other than it sounds like 150 million going to Gilbert.
You didn't miss anything.
That's it?
No, nothing happens.
I think I'll leave.
I got nothing.
Damn.
You didn't miss anything. I don't know.
Oh, well. I missed Sean. You had
no,
Sean
you didn't.
Here.
I know. It was good seeing him. He's getting healthier, too, and stronger.
Healthy. That's good. Good.
And I think he'll be here next week.
It probably depends on the Pistons.
Yeah. Well, but they should, if they play, they should be home by then.
Okay. Well,
if they manage.
Well, next week we hope to see Sean. We hope to see Erica. I know I'll see Marc because he is, as we said earlier, chained in this dungeon.
Oh, I do want to report. Still no hospital bill from Puerto Rico.
Oh.
I'm going to report it every week.
Okay, good. Well,
stupid.
Don't wish it into being. But thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. To our soulmates, thanks for being a part of the group that keeps us coming back week after week. You get to watch the show. You get to avoid those annoying insertion ads. And, of course, you get the show before everybody else, as well as our monthly bonus episodes. We got to start thinking about another one soon. Damn, I keep a journal, and when I travel, I do more journal entries than I normally do.
It's a journal. It's not a diary.
No, it's a journal.
What's the difference?
100% He-Man. That's the difference.
Okay.
You
say so. So you keep a diary.
So I was wondering, maybe should our next bonus
You're gonna read out of your
episode
diary?
read from my journal about my trip to
No.
Well, we did a couple funny moments. Sergey got admonished for approaching a dead seal on a beach. Some good Samaritan's like, don't bother the seal. He's like, it's dead. And when we went to go see the geyser, there was some American women who were there, and when the geyser went off, one of them said, "Oh, I got it all on my face," and it was really hard.
That's great. Now you don't have to read
laugh.
Now you don't have to read anything from there.
Because just before that, one of them had said, "How do we know when it's going to go off?" And I thought, if I was recording this and edited it together,
sounds like a bit.
Good times. Okay, well, we'll have to come up with another bonus episode idea. Unless you love that one, in which case you
I hate it.
mlsouldetroit@gmail.com. The people will decide.
No, they don't like it.
Perpetuating
your
the
vote
illusion.
doesn't matter. What? What's going on? Are we done?
Back.
I'm picking up Sean's slack.
And beaten. I guess it's time for me to turn to the only friend I have down here, and that's Cyrus, who's the only man kind enough to take us out.
Can you dig that?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
What do you think really happened?
The soul of Detroit. You never think you can't make it. You always believe there'll be a way. It's not working anymore.
There's no life. Didn't even see a bird. Is there a point where perhaps we
want to give up? We have a map. We will find it, and we will be back by August.
Isaac, stop! Stop!
You don't think we can make it, do you?
There's truth in every dream.
Sean Windsor.
They say there's truth in every dream.